destroying the natural beauty that made people want to move to the neighborhood in the first place. The Farmington Valley in Connecticut is working hard to have the best of both worlds. The lower Farmington River winds its way through the countryside west of Hartford, Connecticut. 10,000 years ago, the region was home to Native American encampments. In recent centuries, factory towns sprang up along the river's fast-flowing waters. It is a regional treasure in need of a little protection.
Despite the fact that we have very good water quality most of the time, every time it rains, our water quality actually plummets.
The culprit? Stormwater pollution. The water that runs off the streets and chemically treated lawns near the riverbanks.
My early memories are driving around, and there were farms and farmhouses and none of these malls. We had to go into Hartford to shop, and it's definitely changed a lot. We have the issues that really the whole country has with sprawl.
This is Avon, Connecticut. Once a sleepy rural town, it's now home to the chain stores every strip mall desires. Nearby is Alsop Meadows.
This particular area is very flat because it's a glacial terrace, and there's a long history of long Native American history here. It's a nice place to live because you got the water, the river right here, which is very navigable. Farmers all along the river find artifacts when they plow, and they've done that forever and ever.
Further downstream is Collinsville. This charming village was actually a company town, home to the Collins factory. At one time, it was the largest axe factory in the world. Collins Tools helped build the Trans-Siberian Railroad and went with Admiral Perry to the North Pole. But the factory closed in the 60s. And today, Collinsville is known for artists, quaint shops,
some good fishing around these abutments. Don't tell anybody, though.
And great canoeing on the Farmington River.
We have all kinds of neat wildlife. This summer I saw squirrels swimming across the river. We have otters, we have muskrat, we have great blue heron, all kinds of birds, even humans swimming in the river. We have some wildlife there at times.
We have an incredible diversity of freshwater mussels on the lower Farmington River. We actually have only 12 species of freshwater mussels that you find anywhere in Connecticut, and we have 11 of them in the Farmington River.
These guys live in the water, amongst the rocks, and they're filter feeders.
Now that we know that these are the special things that we want to protect, what do we need to do to protect them?
That's why the Farmington River Watershed Association and volunteers like Sally Rieger are working together.
We live near the river, we use the river. The river is important to a lot of people in the towns along the river.
Volunteers from 10 riverside towns are participating in a 3-year study. They hope will convince Congress to give the lower Farmington River wild and scenic designation. If granted, that will bring in federal funds to help preserve the river's beauty for future generations. It is a beautiful place. It will be 2009 before Congress decides whether or not to award wild and scenic designation to the lower Farmington River. That watershed provides 100% of the drinking water for more than 600,000 people in Greater Hartford.